There is self-mastery in understanding that nothing outside of you can take your peace or stability. Hey guys, my name is Lynn and welcome back to my channel. It's been almost a year since I last posted a video on here, which is crazy, but within this year I've definitely learned so much and experienced so much that I can't wait to share with you all. As you guys can see, the title of today's video is Be Unbreakable. So I'm going to break down the subject of today's video in 5 steps. So step 1 is simply awareness. So to be unbreakable, you have to be aware of the fact that everything starts within. So what does that mean? So every emotion that we feel, whether that's pain, hurt, happiness, any emotion we feel, obviously we know it starts within. Okay, so nothing outside of you causes you to feel that. So that means that we have full control of our emotions. Nothing outside of us makes us happy. Nothing outside of us actually makes us mad or triggers us. It's actually everything within that triggers our emotions. For example, if you're getting angry over something, there's actually something within that's going on. It might be that you're insecure about something deep down, or it might be that you have a childhood wound that started in your past that you haven't resolved yet. So the simple act of awareness is a great start to understanding that you are in control of your life, you are in control of your emotions, and you have that power within. So awareness is very powerful without us realizing it, because it's that simple. It's just awareness. Become aware of the fact that everything starts within you. You are actually at times creating things worse than they really are, or you're overthinking things in your head when in reality things can be different in certain situations. Awareness is so important because if you think about the fact that everything in this world has always started from within, whether that was just a thought, idea, it always started somehow within first before it became physical. So let's say like a roll of paper towel, like somebody had to think about that first before it came into fruition into the material world. So the simple fact of you being aware of how you're doing within is going to help you navigate a lot of things in your life, because things happen outside of us because they happened within first. Let's say you're in a certain situation or you're unhappy with your life. You have to understand, you have to be aware within you and kind of understand where you're at within to understand how that outcome became in the physical form. And that kind of takes us to step 2, which is get to know yourself. So now that you have the awareness that it starts within you, you have to get to know who you are within. So that could be just simply checking in with yourself, journaling your feelings out, talking to a loved one really helps because relativity. A lot of times we can assume things about ourselves that aren't even true, or assume things about others or about a certain situation going on outside of you. And being able to have the relativity of somebody else's judgments, definitely if it's like a loved one and they really care for you, then they can kind of see it more a clear mind and they can give you clarity on your situation, then that really helps and also reminds you of who you are. Because a lot of times we have false assumptions about who we are. So make sure you check in yourself to understand who you really are, because it's easy to get lost and it's easy to conform to what other people are doing. It's easy to be like everybody else. But to truly be unbreakable, start with getting to know yourself. So getting to know yourself also means going within, understanding your weaknesses and your strengths. So going with understanding your weaknesses is a pill you have to swallow, because not everybody's gonna wanna go towards their shadow. Not everybody's gonna wanna say, okay, I am the problem in this way, or I was wrong here. Sometimes it's so hard for people to admit that, but that is a weakness in itself too, which makes you breakable. So to be unbreakable, you have to look at yourself in the eye and say, okay, I am the problem here, but now that I have awareness, that's all you really need. If you start with the awareness that you may have been wrong in this situation, or the simple fact that you're aware is good, that's a good start, okay? Because then you can start working on that. You can start choosing to be something other than the bad parts of you that you realize you were. And on your strengths, make sure that you remind yourself of your strengths. Don't just look at your weaknesses and think that you're a terrible person, and don't wallow in all that guilt, okay? So nobody's perfect, and accept yourself. You have to accept yourself to love yourself. So remind yourself of your strengths in a way that is affirming to yourself, that you can get self-validation from yourself. So tell yourself your affirmations, remind yourself in real ways that you've shown in your experience in this life that you've been a good person. I'm pretty sure all of you have been, that you did something good, that the qualities that you truly like of yourself that you want to keep, instead of bottling them away or hiding them away because you felt the need to conform or be like somebody else, or somebody made you feel like that part of you was stupid, or somebody made you feel like that part of you wasn't worthy. Forget all of that and understand your strength truly, because your biggest strength in this life is the fact that you're you. Your biggest strength is the fact that nobody can be you, that we are all unique and nobody is exactly like you. Nobody is exactly like you, which is why it's so important for you to get to know yourself, because you're not gonna find it in other people. Which is why it's so important for you to be your most authentic self, because that is exactly what the world needs. Your true authentic self is your highest version of yourself, is the version of you that's going to be most successful in life if you're following your true path. And the most authentic version of yourself is the version of you that is unbreakable, and the most authentic version of yourself is the part of you that nobody else can be, which is why it's so important that you live that out and are true to yourself in that way. That is a form of self-love, being true to yourself even if nobody else is like you, because they just simply won't be. You are the most unique thing in your life. All right, so now we're gonna take it to step 3, which is regulating your nervous system. Okay, so this is a very important part of becoming unbreakable. Regulating your nervous system is so important because in life, it's inevitable that we get hurt. It's inevitable that we clash with somebody. It's inevitable that we're met with diversity and differences that sometimes don't align with us, and that's okay. Regulating your nervous system is so important because being unbreakable means that you understand that nothing outside of you can take your peace or stability, which means that you have that within you, which means that you need to maintain that within you. So in ways that you can regulate your nervous system is by meditating, doing breath work, practicing mindfulness, journaling, and I would say the biggest thing is staying in the present moment. And the way that I want you to think of regulating your nervous system is not in the way of having to do work, having to work to regulate your nervous system, because a regulated nervous system should be the normal state of us. So that is a state that we were born with. You know, we weren't born being mad. We weren't born coming in this world emotional or hurt or broken. We weren't born that way. So our perfect state is a regulated, balanced nervous system, a balanced emotional state, and just perfect alignment. So it's not about working to get there, because you already are that. It's about letting go of everything that is not you. So that's where the awareness and getting to know yourself came in. But now you're putting it into practice on step 3. So I say that living in the present moment is the most important thing, because a lot of times if we're not living in the present moment, then we can get so in our heads, either anxious or depressed. So there's a saying that if you're anxious, then you're worried about your future. And if you're depressed, then you're too focused on the past. Now, nostalgia is something that can get us stuck, and trust me, I've been there too. But when you truly live in the present moment, you're grateful for the gift of life. That's why it's called the present moment. So pick up hobbies. You can learn a language, learn an instrument, learn a skill, do things that keep you in the present moment to maintain the positivity within you. The main thing here is you want to get into the flow state. So as you're learning new things, whether that's a skill or you're doing, even if you're just going out for a walk, if you want to do something as simple as that, that's good too. Go out into nature, just simply smell the trees, smell the grass on the floor, because that's why we're here. Get into the flow state, because that is the natural state of being regulated and at peace, and allow your brain to relax, because sometimes we can be our own worst enemy, causing our overthinking, causing our negative emotions, and sometimes we don't even want it, but it's hard to get out of it when you're in there. So just be at peace, give yourself that peace, and regulate your nervous system in this way. Trust me, it can be hard, but what's harder is being at the mercy of things outside of you causing you to go to a dark place. Okay, it's like growing pains. It's like hard in that way. Growing pains of the way that it may hurt, but it's making you stronger. Because part of being in the present moment is having to let go of all the negative thoughts that you were thinking, having to let go about being anxious of the future, and having to let go being depressed in the past of what if, like, why can't I just do this? Why did these things have to happen to me? Let go of those thoughts. Letting go is hard because sometimes negativity is all we're used to. Sometimes that is our comfort spot because it's familiar. But it is not worth putting yourself in a dark spot just because it's familiar, just because you don't know what the light looks like outside of it. It's harder to create the light within you again, but all you have to do actually is just let go and mute the sounds in your head that's causing you to go to a dark place. And that's harder, but it's a part of self-mastery. So speaking of self-mastery, we're going to step number 4, which what I would say is probably my favorite and really important, even though all of these are super important. Step 4, practice unconditional love. Understand that nothing is perfect nor will ever be perfect. Look at the things that hurt you in your life and say, thank you. Thank you for what you taught me. Thank you for making me stronger. Thank you for making me realize that I want to continue to be me in love and nothing like you. Thank you for that relativity. This is a big step in the self-mastery of becoming unbreakable because, like I said before, it's easy to hate. It's so easy to conform like everybody else does. Everybody else says, hate that person for hurting you. Everybody else says, stay away from them. Don't look them in the eye. Don't give them respect anymore. But practicing unconditional love is the strongest thing you can do for yourself, okay? Forgiving others is for the giver of that forgiveness. And when you realize that nothing is perfect in this life and will never be, you realize that the things outside of you never actually hurt you because you are centered within. You are somebody that was born with respect because you were born as that perfect state. All right, we were taught to hate. We were taught to disrespect others. We were taught to distance ourselves. We were taught that we were meant to be hurt if somebody did this, but in reality, people are gonna be themselves, and you have to accept them through unconditional love. You have to accept that that's who they are, and that is also part of letting go, that you do not need to control others. The only thing that you have to control is yourself, and that is a blessing because you are powerful. Understand through unconditional love that you have an abundance of love within you, that nothing outside of you, no person, situation, anything outside of you can take from you. It is overflowing within you. It's love for you, for yourself, for others, for the plants, the trees, the earth, Mother Nature, everything outside of you, you have the ability to love. And that is not something that anything outside of you can take with you, because it starts within. Remember, part from step 1. Also, through unconditional love, remember that you have an abundance of time that nothing can take away from you. So some people will be like, what do you mean, like, I have an abundance of time? I'll explain that a little bit. So you have an abundance of time in the sense that you are always capable at any moment to choose something better for yourself, to create a life for you that's meant for you. Not saying that you have to be on yourself about the past because, oh, you did this and like I shouldn't have done that. Don't be on you, because you have an abundance of time to make the right decision, to make a mistake. And within those, you're gonna learn from both. You're gonna live your life through both of them. You have an abundance of time and abundance of choices that nothing outside of you can take away from you. Nothing outside of you can stop the fact that you have control of that. Remember that your life is yours. Give your power back to yourself and unconditionally love yourself for that. And through that, you will unconditionally love other people outside of you. It doesn't matter that they hurt you. It doesn't matter that you hate them. It doesn't matter that if they hate you. It doesn't matter that they said this, that, whatever it is. You regulated your nervous system. You let go of everything that happened. It's in the past now. You let it go. It's not real, because the only thing that is real is the fact that we were born with the perfect state. And that is your true self. The only thing that is real is who you are authentically, and what you can learn from past mistakes, past traumas, past hurt. What you can take from that is who you really are. So think it and don't absorb it. Take what resonates from it, take the strength from it, and leave everything else behind. Let go of everything else and let unconditional love take its place. Give your power back to yourself, but understand that it was never really gone. All right, and on to the last final step, number 5. Live your best life. So when you're at a point of complete self-love and you know your worth, you understand fully that life is meant to be lived. Okay, nothing will be perfect, but it can be if you let go and realize that you have the power to fulfill your life now. You have an abundance of the present moment now. So live unapologetically, love unapologetically, and know that it can never go to waste. It can never hurt or break you, because you are already whole within yourself. Think of Murphy's Law. Everything that is meant to be will be. And give yourself the joy of shooting for the best, highest version of yourself, living your most fulfilled life now. Because if the present moment is all we have and life is so short, it can change so fast. Like you probably realized in getting hurt or going through trauma, you realize that life changes so fast and we had to adapt. Understand that you can do so much in this life. You can do everything that you ever dreamed of. And give yourself that joy in being able to do that. Tell yourself, I'm gonna go at it fully on, because this is my life, this is your life, and you truly deserve that. So go live your best life now in your most fulfilled version of yourself. All right, guys, I hope this video helped you guys out in some way or form. Take whatever resonates from this, and if you guys have any questions, you can comment down below. Yeah, I really hope you guys live your best life and are truly unbreakable now, because queens, you're unbreakable. Like, live your best life now. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great life. Peace.